Good evening and welcome to the Coon Rapids City Council meeting for Tuesday, January 21st, 2025. If you have room and you could rise, join us for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Griscoviac.
Here.
Councilmember Butler.
Here.
Councilmember Novak.
Here.
Councilmember Geisler.
Here.
Councilmember Armstrong.
Here.
Councilmember Carlson.
Here.
Mayor Cook.
Here. Thank you. All right, well, let's get this rolling. Why don't we adopt this evening's agenda?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Novak.
I move to adopt the agenda.
Second. Motion by Novak and a second by Geisler. Is there any corrections or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the agenda is adopted. And our very first thing on our agenda this evening is the oaths of office for police officers. And we're going to get Chief Steiner up here. And I would like to point out that this being a very auspicious occasion, former police officer, former detective, Councilmember Carlson now is dressed just special for this evening.
Got all fancy, just you guys.
Okay, we'll come to that story in a couple agenda items, but Chief
great.
Steiner.
Looking great, Councilmember Carlson. Mayor and council members, it's an honor to be here tonight to introduce 5 of our newest officers to you and to the community. All 5 of these officers here have successfully completed their field training program and have thus earned the right to stand before you all today, or tonight rather, and receive their uniquely numbered badges that they will have for the rest of their careers here at the Coon Rapids Police Department. As you know, and I've said before, we don't recycle badges here. Nobody's ever worn these badges, and nobody will ever wear them again but you. So to our newest officers, we ask that you always remember that this badge is entrusted to you by the citizens of Coon Rapids, and that it comes with the expectation that you always strive to do your job Coon Rapids way by modeling our police department's core values of trust, professionalism, and compassion. And as you can see by the turnout here tonight, all the way outside of the council chambers as well, there are a lot of people here that are excited to see you start your careers, or in some cases, continue your careers with the Coon Rapids Police Department. All of what I'll do here, I think, to make it easier with this amount of people is to do all the intros first, and then we'll have you come out one by one. We'll call your person up to pin your badge on, and then we'll have the mayor come down and issue the oath of office. Now, usually we go in order of seniority, but this is a unique group, so I'm going to hop around a little bit here, and you'll probably see why. I'll start with Adam Backman, on your closest to Councilmember Carlson. And Adam was born and raised in Coon Rapids and graduated from Coon Rapids High School in 2018. Went to North Hennepin Community College where he got his associate's degree in 2024. But Adam started here as a police explorer in 2016 and then became a Coon Rapids CSO and then finally hired as a police officer. Adam's father and sister are both U.S. Army veterans and influenced his decision to join the Air Force, where he served with the military police from 2018 to 2022, including a deployment to Qatar. In prepping for this, I learned that Adam discovered his passion for service when his cousin Jack brought him to a Coon Rapids Police Department Explorer meeting. And tonight, about 9 years later, cousin Jack, also known as Officer Johnson for our police department, will be pinning his badge number 205 on him when then he'll take his oath of office. In the same vein, Officer Peter Geese grew up in Coon Rapids. He graduated in 2019. He was also Coon Rapids Police Explorer since about 15 years old. I think Pete's been hanging out around here. Did a stint with the County Sheriff's Office as a special deputy, which is our equivalent of a reserve. In 2023, we hired him as a CSO. Pete finished his bachelor's degree from Metro State in 2024. And it's extremely rewarding in both cases to literally watch these guys grow up in our police department and then advance through the ranks and become police officers here. It's great, and it's what we hope for when we start kids in the Explorer program and take them on as CSOs, that they see our culture here and want to be part of it. And in their cases, that's exactly what happened. Today, Officer Geese's brother Matt, a sergeant with the Cambridge Police Department, will be pinning on badge number 209. Carol Walsmith, between Pete and Adam, will be badge 206. She grew up in Buffalo, graduated from Wayzata High School in 2016. After high school, she enlisted in the United States Marine Corps, where she served from 2016 to 2021, earning the rank of Lance Corporal of the Military Police. While she was in the Marine Corps, she earned a bachelor's degree in intelligence studies at American Public University in West Virginia. She became a CSO at the Maple Grove Police Department in 2022 and found her way to Coon Rapids in 2023. She earned her associate's degree in law enforcement from Rasmussen in 2024. Today, Carol's father, Jeff, will be pinning on badge 206. Next to Pete is Salema Salvador. She will be receiving badge 210. Salema grew up in St. Paul's East Side, went to Como Park High School, where she graduated in 2012, then went to North Hennepin Community College, where she earned her associate's degree in law enforcement. She was a corrections officer in Lino Lakes at the prison and a detention deputy at the Hennepin County Jail. And in prepping for these introductions to the community, I usually look through people's background investigations and look for some facts, and then I also send them an email asking if there's any unique life experience, anything I should stay away from, because they are a lot of personal information in there. And Salima wrote back, and I can't do it justice, so I'll just read it. I grew up in poverty, seeing a lot of crime in my neighborhood. I saw children growing up with little guidance from adults, and I always wanted to be able to one day help children, not to have to grow up seeing that violence, and to be able to help people that need resources but don't know where to start. I guess as far as a motivational foundation, that's a pretty good one. So we're very excited to have Salima here. And based on her response, I think it's only fitting that Officer Salvador's daughter Bella and son Tiago will be pinning on badge 210 to their mother tonight. And last, but definitely not least, you may have noticed if you studied ahead that we went from badge 210 all the way down to 139, which is a little bit unique. I'll get to the reason behind that. Officer Huddleston grew up in Burnsville. He was a police explorer with Burnsville PD, a CSO in Edina from 2011 to 2013. He earned his associate's degree from Normandale, and then he worked for the Coon Rapids Police Department as a police officer from 2013 to 2022, and then went to Lakeville PD in 2022 until 2024. He's also one of the many faces that you'll see at the State Fair, running around in our uniform, helping the State Fair police. He's also a member of LEMA, the Law Enforcement Memorial Association, from 2016 to present. And if you're not familiar with them, that's who does honor guard at officers' funerals and whatnot. Ariel Huddleston is the only officer in the last 4 years who left our department for another department. Since that time, we've hired 18 lateral officers from other departments. For about 10 years, he drove about an hour to work. His family is rooted in the South Metro, and that was a big reason for him heading to Lakeville PD for a couple of years. We were saddened to see him go, but we understood. So after 2 years in Lakeville, he became a successful police officer, but we're proud to say and extremely happy to be hiring him back today. So Officer Huddleston's wife, Jessica, will be pinning on badge 139, I think for the second time. Correct. So with that, we'll have you guys step out one by one, and we'll start with Adam Backman, if you'll step there. And we will ask Cousin Jack, Officer Johnson, to pin on badge 205.
I'm going to hold the mic, but you're going to talk into it. If you would raise your right hand, right? Yeah, it's been a little while since we've done this. All right, here we go. I, Adam Backman, do solemnly swear
I, Adam Backman, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States.
of the United States
Sorry, I'm gonna break that down like that. And the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
and the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
and discharge faithfully
and discharge faithfully
the duties of a police officer
the duties of a police officer
for the city of Coon Rapids,
for the city of Coon Rapids,
in the county of Anoka,
in the county of Anoka,
and state of Minnesota,
and state of Minnesota,
to the best of my judgment and ability.
to the best of my judgment and ability.
Congratulations. Okay, I've been doing this 10 years. That's the first time they put the badge number on there. That's pretty impressive. That's good, yeah. Nice job.
Next, we'll have Officer Carol Walsmith come out and her father Jeff.
All right. You got the right hand up already?
Yep.
All right. I, Carol Walsmith, do solemnly swear
I, Carol Walsmith, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
and the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
and discharge faithfully
and discharge faithfully
the duties of a police officer
the duties of a police officer
for the city of Coon Rapids,
for the city of Coon Rapids,
in the county of Anoka,
and the county of Anoka,
and state of Minnesota,
and state of Minnesota,
to the best of my judgment and ability.
to the best of my judgment and ability.
Next, we'll have Officer Peter Geese step forward and his brother Matt come up.
All right. I, Peter Geese, do solemnly swear
I, Peter Giese, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
and the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
and discharge faithfully
and discharge faithfully
the duties of a police officer
the duties of a police officer
for the city of Coon Rapids,
for the city of Coon
in
Rapids,
the county of Anoka,
for the county of Anoka,
and state of Minnesota,
and state of Minnesota,
to the best of my judgment and ability.
to the best of my judgment and ability.
Congratulations. When we pronounce these wrong, make sure you fix it when I.
All right, Salema, Officer Salema Salvador. And we have a double pinning going on with Bella and Tiago. Who's first? I guess we're gonna do a double pinning. One, put it on, take it off, put it on. Great photo op.
Salema.
Salema.
Thank you. All right. I, Salema Saldivar, do solemnly swear
I, Salema Saldivar, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
and the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
and discharge faithfully
and discharge faithfully
the duties of a police officer
the duties of a police officer
for the city of Coon Rapids
for the city of Coon
in
Rapids,
the county of Anoka
the county of Anoka,
and state of Minnesota
and state of Minnesota,
to the best of my judgment and ability.
to the best of my judgment and ability.
Congratulations.
And next, we'll have Officer Ariel Huddleston step out, and his wife Jessica's. Here we go.
Ariel, this might be the second time for you, but it's the first time for me. Your last time was April 1st, 2014, before I was mayor. I, Ariel Huddleston, do solemnly swear
I, Ariel Huddleston, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
and the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
and discharge faithfully
and discharge faithfully
the duties of a police officer
the duties of a police officer
for the city of Coon Rapids
for the city of Coon Rapids,
in the county of Anoka
county of Anoka,
and state of Minnesota
and state of Minnesota,
to the best of my judgment and ability.
to the best of my judgment and ability.
Congratulations. Welcome back.
All right. Well, first, I guess I'd like to thank everybody for coming out and supporting these guys. It means a lot to them. It speaks a lot to the caliber of the people that we hire around here. And your support as they start their careers means a ton. Then lastly, we're still waiting to see if anybody takes us up on this, but you are all welcome to hang out for the remainder of the city council meeting. Otherwise, we'll have everybody feel free to step outside for some photographs, and congratulations for our 5 newest officers. So thank you guys all for coming.
Give him the evil eye. I just gave him the look.
The woman in the front row with the child thought they were looking at her. Just like,
Packing up all the children.
We're just gonna give everybody a couple minutes or another moment to clear out, I guess.
I feel sorry for the Snowflake Day people. I feel sorry for the Snowflake Day people. There's this massive crowd that they could have educated on what Snowflake Days is all about.
All right. Agenda item 2 is the 2025 Snowflake Days button winners and the proclamation. And we have members of the Snowflake Days Committee present to unveil the winner of the 2025 Snowflake Days button design contest and accept the proclamation for Snowflake Days 2025. Tiffany Fick is here. Diane Busta is here. Marquis, Councilmember Carlson is here.
Mr.
Go
Mayor
ahead.
and Council, hello, I'm Tiffany Fick. I'm Vice President of Coon Rapids Snowflake Days, and this is Diane Busta. She is the President of the Snowflake Association. We're just grateful to be here. We are very excited to kick off our 61st annual Snowflake Days this next Friday, January 31st, and the celebration runs through Sunday, February 9th, with many events taking place for people of all ages. Before I tell you a little bit about our lineup of events, I'd like to introduce you to our Snowflake Days marquee this year, Pat Carlson, and also known as Councilmember Carlson. I'm going to read a quick bio for him. We're very excited to announce Pat Carlson, Councilmember at Large, as our 2025 Snowflake Days marquee. Pat grew up on Hanson Boulevard and met his wife Sue while they were students at Coon Rapids High School. Both of their sons graduated from Coon Rapids High School, and they have 4 grandsons. Pat has been a volunteer for most of his life, everything from coaching youth sports to community fundraisers to visiting people in long-term healthcare facilities. Pat retired after 31 years on the Coon Rapids Police Department, and he is the Coon Rapids City Council member at large. He also works part-time for the Anoka County Sheriff's Office and teaches 55-plus driver discount classes for the Precision Driving Center of Minnesota. That's a task in itself. Most of Pat's extra time is spent with family, keeping up with activities in the city, and researching Coon Rapids history. Let's give Pat a big hello as you see him at Snowflake Days events this year, and follow him at a City Council Facebook page, which is where I get most of my information, as well as most of the people from the city do. So thank you for keeping us informed, Pat. Well, now I'm excited to transition to our button design winners. So this was something that we used to do for the Snowflake Association many years ago, and we brought it back for the 60th anniversary of Snowflake Days. There was a great, wonderful submissions of buttons, and so I decided with Diane that we'd love to keep this going. Not only does it engage our young artists in the community, but also it's fun to see those buttons featured in the community as people purchase them. So we will start with our honorable mention, Madison Schultz. And her button is featured on the screen there. So
You want to go in the middle, Pat?
Madison is in grade 5 at Brookside Elementary School, and that is Sand Creek Homeschool. Madison's button design there features Rocky and a snowman. So the judges really felt like it was just happiness in snow. Thank you, Madison. Our second place winner wasn't able to be here, but our second place winner is Carrie Swanson from Coon Rapids High School. As you can see, her button is on the screen as well. Rocky is ice fishing. There's a snowman, some lakes, so today would be a good day for her button. She's not here. And then our first place winner is Ethan Yang from grade 9, and he attends Coon Rapids High School. And as Ethan's mom said, Ethan was very nervous and wasn't going to submit his button, but his mom, with a little convincing, was able to get him to submit it. So as you can see, Rocky, there's sledding, snowballs, all the great things that really encompass winter months. And Rocky is very well drawn. So thank you so much to all of our button design winners, as well as to anybody who submitted button designs. They were all fabulous. The judge had a really hard time picking, but we're very excited to feature these. So these will be featured at 3 locations, as along with the button that Pat was, Councilmember Carlson was wearing, but is no longer wearing. They will be for sale. He already lost his button. These will be for sale at City Hall, as well as High 10 Service, and Chanticleer is our new sale location since Jensen's moved out of the city. So you can purchase the button design winter buttons, as well as our annual generic Snowflake Days button as well. So now I'm just going to touch on a few events for the throughout Snowflake Days, as Councilmember Carlson stands in his gear here. So January 31st to February 9th is the medallion hunt starts, and it starts on Friday, January 31st, and continues throughout Snowflake Days until found. The clues are posted on the website daily. Is that the Snowflake Days website? Yes. On the Snowflake Days website daily. And there's many people that participate in this. You do have to have a Snowflake Days button. So like I said, you can purchase them at one of the 3 locations throughout the city. And that prize is $500 plus the fancy medallion when you find it. So, next we have the snow sculpture contest. This one is to be determined. The cash prizes for that are first are $200, second is $150, third is $100. All sculptures must be completed by 11:59 February 2nd. Judging is to take place on February 3rd. Pre-register no later than January 31st. There will be an announcement made on January 31st if there is a snow sculpture contest. So I am indifferent on that because I don't necessarily want snow, but I know there's many people that do, so they can win this snow sculpture contest. Next we have a fan favorite, which is the Mayor's Cup Simulated Golf Tournament qualifiers. That actually starts next Wednesday. So that used to be a 1-day qualifier. They've moved it to 3, which is great. So January 29th, 31st with the qualifier in the morning, as well on the 1st, and finals are on February 1st. That is at Bunker Hills with the simulator. You just have to call them to sign up, or you can stop in and sign up as well. Next, we have our Miss Coon Rapids Teen Pageant, as well as Miss Snow County and Miss Anoka County Teen. That will be held at Chippewa Middle School in Mounds View due to some scheduling issues. The doors will open at 3:30. The pageant begins at 4 o'clock. That is a scholarship organization, and this is Miss Coon Rapids' 60th anniversary of the pageant. So, next we have a fan favorite of the Guns N' Hoses hockey game, which is Coon Rapids Police Department versus Coon Rapids Fire Department in partnership with the Minnesota Blue Ox, who finds their home at Crick. So this is a very great game for multiple reasons. Bragging rights, last year was the PD, so their trophy sits proudly on their display case, as well as they have not let anybody forget that they won that game last year. And that's from 12:30 to 2 at Crick, so tickets are $10 for adults, $5 for kids. All of the money raised for that goes back to the Community Strength Foundation. And the PD has a very large team this year, so they're trying to defend their title. Next, we have the Chili Challenge, which is a very great community event. That's on Monday, February 3rd. That new location will be at Coon Rapids City Center from 5:30 to 7:30. Ages 5 and under are free, 6 to 12 are $5, and ages 13 plus are $10. So the fire department won the chili contest last year. The PD won the hockey game, so there's a little bit of rivalry, but I do hear there's some fantastic chili recipes coming to compete this year. So we have 6 great community organizations that are signed up. So definitely, if you can make it, it's a great way to get dinner for very cheap cost. Next, we have the Senior Snowflake Party. That's at the Coon Rapids Senior Center. That's Friday, February 7th. Tickets are $20. Julie and her staff have done a great job planning that. It's a fan favorite for the seniors. I know I think they sold out last year, so I'm sure they'll sell out this year. We have Winter Fun at Sand Creek Park Day, February 8th. That's from 11 to 2 p.m. So that includes a kids medallion hunt from 11:15 to 12 o'clock. And actually, there's a boys and girls winner for that. And the Fire Department Community Fund has donated two $200 gift cards for each winner to Eric's Bike Shop. So that's really great. Right after the medallion hunt, we have cookies and canvas, which is from 12 to 2. And then, as long as the weather cooperates, outdoor skating and games from 11 to 2 as well. So that is really great. There's no charge for that. We just ask that you go to the website and sign your kids up online so that we can have an idea of how many will be there. One of the last events on that Sunday is the free community waffle breakfast. So this is a Goodwill donation breakfast. That is at Coon Rapids City Center from 8 to 12 on Sunday, February 9th. That is hosted by the Coon Rapids North Star Lions Club and the Super Senior Club baked goodies for sale. So all of the money from their baked goods will go back to their Super Senior Club. Say that 5 times fast. And that is from 8 a.m. to noon. Again, all of those Goodwill donations will go back to the Lions for 4th of July festivities and 4th of July expenses to continue to add to the event. The final event of Snowflake Days is Family Day at Coon Rapids Ice Center, February 9th, and that's 4:30 to 7:30. They have a lot of really great activities that they provide. So that was just a quick synopsis of all of the Snowflake Days events, but everything can be found on our website. It can be found on the city website. And like we said, a lot of these events are for people of any age, kids, families, chili. And our website is coonrapidssnowflakedays.com, as well as the city website. You can go to the city website and find that under Coon Rapids Snowflake Days.
If you've forgotten anything, you'll get one more bite at the apple because we're going to do the proclamation next.
Okay.
So if you want to meet me up front here, in front of the dais, including you, Councilmember Carlson.
And we said Pat should wear this all year long and at every council meeting.
It sounds like for 10 days, you're just going to roll out of bed and put that on.
Usually it has a snowflake button on it, but it's missing. It's somewhere between here and there.
All right. Tiffany, you're staying over there or what?
Yeah, Diane.
Oh, Vice President, I
Yeah.
get it, okay. Got the President here with us,
Yes.
okay, all right. We have a proclamation for the Coon Rapids Snowflake Days 61st Annual Celebration. Whereas the 2025 Snowflake Days celebration marks the 61st anniversary of the Coon Rapids Snowflake Days celebration, and whereas Coon Rapids Snowflake Days began in 1964 as a JC project conceived of the notion that the city of Coon Rapids needed a civic celebration the entire community could participate in, and whereas the 2025 Snowflake Days celebration includes numerous events over 1 week and 2 weekends for all individuals, including, little summary here again, a medallion hunt, Miss Coon Rapids Scholarship Pageant, Coon Rapids Royal Ambassador Crowning, Guns N' Hoses Hockey Game, Snow Sculpture Contest, Mayor's Cup Simulator Golf Tournament, Winter Fun at Sand Creek event featuring a kids medallion hunt and kids cookies and canvas, Chili Challenge, Senior Snowflake Party, Community Waffle Breakfast, and Family Fun Day at the Coon Rapids Ice Center. And whereas Snowflake Days will start with qualifiers for the Mayor's Simulator Golf Tournament at Bunker Hills Golf Club on Wednesday, January 29th, and the first main events kick off Friday, January 31st, with the Community Medallion Hunt and Royal Ambassador Program. And whereas Snowflake Days will culminate on Sunday, February 9th, with Family Fun Day held at the Coon Rapids Ice Center, and whereas many volunteers, businesses, and community organizations have dedicated their time and talents to create this exciting winter celebration for the benefit of all citizens of Coon Rapids. Now, therefore, I, Jerry Cook, Mayor of the City of Coon Rapids, on behalf of the Coon Rapids City Council, hereby proclaim January 31st through February 9th, 2025 to be Coon Rapids Snowflake Days' 61st anniversary. Be it further proclaimed that all citizens are encouraged to participate in this community celebration and enjoy the numerous activities and events proclaimed this 21st day of January 2025. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, I am Diane Busta. I am president of the Coon Rapids Snowflake Association. This will be my 25th year as president of the association. So it's a pretty good gig. So we are very excited to be able to do this. Again, 61 years is a really long time. We're all very proud. Everybody that's ever been involved is very proud of our legacy and what we do. Some years are shorter. Last year was 3 weeks. We decided 9 days was plenty this year. So, so we're just very excited for it to be here again. The community showed up in force last year and came to many, many events. We want you to continue coming out. The cold weather is going to go away, and it's going to be a little bit warmer. Snow would be nice, so we could do those events. But otherwise, we're very thankful for what the city council and the mayor and the citizens and everybody does to support our program. I'd also just like to say our junior royalty ambassadors, our junior ambassadors are here tonight supporting. They've been to everything that's happened this year, so we're very thankful for them. I actually directed that program for 20 years, so so it's nice to have them. But thank you to everyone, everyone in the city. Please come out, have fun, go look for the medallion, and participate in everything. There's something for young and old alike, all family-oriented, and it's going to be a great time. And we're very happy to have our marquee this year. He's actually had this since the last day of Snowflake Days last year. Last year's marquee said, "I'm done, here you go," and gave it all to him, and he's been storing it since, so he's excited to put it on. So, yeah, so we're very excited to have Pat represent us as the marquee this year. The marquee, for those who don't know, is kind of a grand poobah of the celebration. They go and see everybody and check out all the events and make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. So we're very thankful for him this year. So thanks again, everybody.
I will add, Mr. Mayor, that I happened to forget the actual very first event, which is the Coon Rapids Royal Ambassador Program, which takes place on Friday, January 31st, and I do help with that event, so the fact that I forgot that event as well is surprising. Our director, Hannah's here. She has been doing everything that the city's offered. They've provided amazing volunteerism through that event as well. So thank you to our ambassadors, thank you to Hannah, and we will crown some new ambassadors at that program and start our next leg of volunteers as well. So thank you again for the marketing department's support, city council through this event. This really is a fun winter celebration, and I've heard Coon Rapids is one of the very few cities throughout Minnesota that actually have a winter celebration. So that really sets us apart. And Dan Cole from K-Fan actually talks about it. He calls it the Coon Rapids Aquatennial, but close enough. So we'll take what we can get. But I think that's pretty cool that he grew up in Coon Rapids and he still talks about how great the celebration is. So thank you again. And I hope Marquis Carlson wears that for your background checks at Anoka County this coming winter. So. I will. All right, great. Oh, here, also I'm presenting Marquis Carlson another button. You get one for free, the second gets donated.
Yeah. All right. Well, and I happen to know that, Tiffany, you're not going anywhere. You're staying right there, correct?
From what I saw on the agenda, yes, that's correct.
All right. We'll wait for Councilmember Carlson to.
Got it, it's on.
Got it? Okay. Is it on better than the last time?
Yes.
Okay.
That's great.
All right. Well, thank you, Vice President of Snowflake Days, Tiffany Fick. Now I'd like to welcome Coon Rapids Community Strength Foundation presentation, and I believe that's going to be Tiffany Fick.
I don't.
You bringing Bill Kicker up with you? I see Bill Kicker's got his Community Strength shirt on.
I am. There's actually a few foundation members here as well. So I'd like to bring them up to introduce themselves, and then I'll proceed with our presentation.
There you go. Community Strength Foundation members, come on up. Bill, John?
I will say, Bill can tell you how long it's been since he's been to a council meeting, though. It's a fun little fact.
I'm supposed to introduce myself. Bill Kicker. I've been a member for about a year and a half now of the Community Strength Foundation, and I mean, it's an amazing organization and the things that it does for the city of Coon Rapids. It's been an honor for me to be able to participate in the many events. I've volunteered for the day on a couple events, pretty intense, what goes on in the background. But Tiffany, I know she's going to do the report on this. And
Are you sure she's not there anymore?
yeah, I noticed that. It makes me a little nervous too. So, thank you. I mean, it's a great organization.
Thanks, Bill.
My name is John Fick. I echo what Bill just said. I'm an at-large position. I've been on the foundation for board for about a year. And I'm also a member of the fire department. So, thank you.
All right. That would be Battalion Chief Fick. Nice.
I am Diane Busta, again. I was one of the founding members of the foundation. I am transitioning off of the board for now. I've been the secretary for 14 years. There's a little bit of longevity. When I sign up for things, I stay for a really long time. I have a new grandbaby coming, so I'm stepping back a little bit to take care of my new grandson. And at some point, I expect to be back on the foundation. It's a wonderful group. We do amazing events in the community, and the members are hard workers, and they're awesome. And like I said, I've been there from the beginning, and I've seen people come and go, and the crew we have right now is just amazing. So I want to thank the foundation for everything that they do in the city, because they really put on some stellar events.
Thanks, Diane. And now the mother of that grandson.
Yeah. I somehow volunteer for committees and then I don't end up leaving either, so here we are. So we're doing things a little different this year. Last year was our first year presenting the year-end financial report as well as the grant synopsis, and we did it in March, which is when the charitable gambling, I believe, is distributed. This year, because our foundation does so many events, we wanted to get it done in January so that 2024 and the previous year is behind us and we can actually move on to all of the events that we continue to plan instead of trying to mix and mingle. So this PowerPoint will go over what the Community Strength Foundation provides grants to, our funding, as well as the percentages of what we give out, and you'll see just how dedicated our volunteers in this foundation is to the community. So about us, the CSF is a Coon Rapids Community Strength Foundation is an all-volunteer group of citizens who are very dedicated to supporting the community through the stewardship of funds allocated to the foundation. Our mission is to promote and enhance the quality of life in the city of Coon Rapids by supporting community celebrations and events. So this is the board and what it's made up of. The current civic organizations who may appoint a director representative, all of these seats are currently filled. The Arts Commission, City Council representative, Competition Cheer Spirit Booster Club, Fire Relief Association, Lions Club, Mat Bandits, North Star Lions Club, Snowflake Association, Youth Hockey Association, and Coon Rapids Cardinal Little League. We also have 9 at-large members, which are also all currently filled. Under it is just a brief description of how those positions are filled, and they serve 2 terms, and it alternates years. So our charitable gambling organizations in Coon Rapids that contribute to the city, which then contributes to CSF, are Cardinal Little League, Lions Club, Mat Bandits, VFW Post 9625, Youth Hockey Association, and the Competitions Cheer Spirit Booster Club. So this is a synopsis of what we support. This isn't all of the things you'll see as I go through the PowerPoint. These are just some of our major events that we've supported since basically the start of the foundation. So Snowflake Days, Winter Concert Series, Movie in the Park, I'll touch on that, Summer Concert Series, the 4th of July celebration, of course, the fireworks, Coon Rapids Love My Pet Fair, Rocky's Pumpkin Patch, and Coon Rapids Tree Lighting Festival. So one thing that was new in 2024, which has been really great, and the marketing department and Stephanie Ring has done a great job with, is the MOU with the partnership with CSF. So in 2024, the MOU between CSF and the city was implemented. The MOU formalizes the partnership of the two agencies related to community events where both entities work together for pumpkin patch tree lighting, snowflake days, and then fireworks for 4th of July. It connects the city's business sponsorship program to all events, including CSF-led funded events. And then the business sponsorship program allows businesses to sponsor Coon Rapids events and programs. Businesses show community support and receive various marketing benefits, and the funds generated enhance events or defray costs for CSF in the city. And we actually saw the tangible effects of this year by being able to eliminate some of the costs of CSF because of the business sponsorship program. So we were able to lessen some of the things that CSF would have had to pay for, which businesses then sponsored. So it was really great to see this partnership develop, and it's a yearly MOU, so we're able to revise and look and see how it worked the previous year. But overall, we're really happy with the MOU and how that partnership's been going. So this, not to be confused with this year, this was the 60th anniversary in 2024. I already touched on this last year, so I'm not going to go too deep into this. But because this was a 2024 event, but the funds were allocated in 2023, we did have to include it in 2023 and 2024. So it was, like Diane said, it was 3 weeks, which was a great long 3 weeks of events, but it's time to downsize back to 2 weekends. So overall, really fantastic. As you can see, that picture that I referenced, you have PD and FD with their trophy, the women of today, some chili pictures. We also did an ice bar last year, as well as the parade and Rocky at the senior party. Winter concert series this year were the Floras, Riverside Rockets, and Kenny and Friends. I know these are well attended. We enjoy donating to these and something to do in the winter. Movie in the Park and Summer Concert Series. So Movie in the Park, I noted that this was a business sponsorship program, which was sponsored by Twin Cities Eye Consultants. So that was really great to see that partnership working in conjunction with that event specifically. And then the Summer Concert Series, as you can see on the screen, the Castaways, Power of 10, the Naked Cowboys, Backyard Band, Red Letter Band, Holy Rocka Rollas, Pirates, Guitars, Beachfront Bars, Jonah and the Whales, and The Revolution, and then the genre of the music is listed. Those concerts are so well attended. The Coon Rapids North Star Lions Club runs the concessions for those, and it is busy, busy, busy. I mean, people specifically come out to get their tacos, get their concessions every Thursday, and then the tip jars are out, and the Lions Club, Coon Rapids North Star Lions, actually donate all those tips back to CSF as well. So. Movie in the Park, this was the last one that we are doing. We are transitioning to something else, just with the ever-changing timeline and restrictions on movies and things you can play. We just figured that we may be able to better utilize the funds for that event, so we're going to work with the Parks and Rec Department to figure out maybe what would go in place of that event instead. 4th of July celebration. So obviously this was, from my understanding of why the foundation was founded, one of the main reasons so that they could fund fireworks. It was a very wet year just for multiple events. So I really give kudos to the city staff, the administration, the North Star Lions Club, and all of the volunteers they just stayed there. They did what they needed to. They're getting poured on. Fire Relief Association, Royal Ambassador Program, everybody that came out, they're getting poured on. The tents are dropping water on everybody, but they did not complain. They didn't shut anything down early, so this was still a great celebration. The 4th of July fireworks make up 56% of the CSF spending in 2024. That's actually up from, I believe, 52% in 2023. Fireworks are getting more expensive, displays are getting bigger. Overall, great use of funds. The city staff did a great job to have the fireworks go forward, so we didn't miss out on that, which was great. Normally, there's approximately 20,000 people that attend. It was hard to gauge this year as to how many actually attended. The Coon Rapids All Class Reunion is a hit, so that's really great. We have people all the way back from, Mr. Mayor could probably comment on that, 73, I believe?
66.
Okay, 66. So we have people that come from the very first class of Coon Rapids up to the latest, 2024. So that's a really great event, well attended. Now that word is getting out, there's more people that have been coming back. We have also, it's amazing to see, we have the principal of Coon Rapids who grew up in Coon Rapids. We have Ms. Mira grew up in Coon Rapids. We have so many people that are so involved in the city of Coon Rapids that grew up in Coon Rapids. So the fact that they went to school here, they grew up here, and they're still here, which I think is my fate, but that they're still here is great. One thing that CSF added this year, which was fantastic, was extra tents, and it's a good thing we did because it provided additional covered space for people, as well as if it was really hot, we were able to utilize those. So that's something we'll continue with. And then as you can see, CSF actually pays for the marching bands that are in the parade. So Coon Rapids, Anoka, Forest Lake, Hmong Marching Warriors, and Chisago Lakes all attended this year. So Coon Rapids Pet Fair, I know this is a well-loved event, but it was also wet this year again. That's kind of our theme of our CSF events for 2024. So it closed the event early. It's never happened in 8 years of having the event. It happened for 1 hour. And as it would be, as soon as the event stopped, the sun came out and it was canceled. It was beautiful. It was a really great blue sky day. So the goal of the event is to build community, educate about responsible pet ownership, and bring together pet lovers. The feedback was great. Attendees loved to gather with other pet owners, talk vendors, and participate in the pet costume contest. The CSF grant to Love My Pet Fair provided dog pick-a-toy game, crazy hair for dogs and kids, and DJ for enhanced sound and music. So as we know, pet lovers are fully dedicated to their pets. So I've definitely heard great feedback on how many people love this event and the odd pets that they'll bring to it. So Rocky's Pumpkin Patch, as I'm sure everybody knows, this is one of the most well-attended events, estimated of attendance over 3,000 people. We gave away 1,386 pumpkins. 100 of those were donated by Knights of Columbus. People are lined up before the event starts. I mean, it is 9 o'clock and the line is down the sidewalk. So city staff does a great job and volunteers do a great job of keeping people lined up and ready to go, because it would just be a free-for-all if people just went to the event without any kind of organization. This event includes bounce houses, face painters, bingo, cakewalk, and a lot more. We were able to partner with community and youth organizations, North Star Lions Club, Explore Programs, and the CRHS Honor Society. We had 16 vendors this year, so we were definitely up from 2023. We had 13 youth organizations from Coon Rapids and surrounding areas, and we had 3 youth-focused businesses as well. So people want to attend this event. We try to keep it very youth-focused on 4 businesses and organizations, and the point of them is to promote their organization, try and get people more involved. So our last event of the year is the Coon Rapids Tree Lighting Festival. This was by far our biggest and best event yet. There's a lot of people that volunteer their time for this event. It's cold, it could be wet. This year it was icy, but it doesn't stop them. Councilmember Armstrong got us our blow-ups this year. We had 50-foot Santa and an arch, and he was dedicated. He was out there making sure we made it happen. So volunteers for this event are just amazing. We had an estimated attendance between 850 and 900 people, so this is our largest event that we've had. We had the tree donation by a Coon Rapids family that's very involved in the community. We were able to partner with the Coon Rapids High School Nordic Ski Team, Nest to Threads, which this will touch base on for the 2025 PowerPoint, but we're moving to an activity table/donor. So she actually came in from Nest to Threads. She provided all of the ornament supplies, and she provided 300 ornaments for kids and families to make together under our heated tent, and she ran out before the event had even been over. So she's doubling that, she said, to 600 next year. So we are very grateful for donors like that may not be able to provide a financial donation, but by her bringing supplies to make those ornaments, it really elevated our event and made it a family event. We also had Magnify Financial, who was a donor as well, for the cookies and hot chocolate. This year, which was a huge hit, we added the heated tent for crafts by Nest to Threads, and the tent just wasn't big enough. So now next year we have to go bigger, and we were able to do that because of the CSF donation. We had really great feedback. We had a lot of new people this year that attended the event. They said it's the first time they've been there. They didn't know that they live in the community, and they didn't know we offered something like this, so that was really great to hear that our community and the outreach of what we're providing and what CSF is doing is really making its mark. And also we have fireworks, which some people say it's better than the fireworks in their city. So a lot of people come for the firework display as well. So a few additional things that we supported that weren't part of the overall events that you saw were the Coon Rapids Community Scholarship Organization, Safety Camp, the Coon Rapids All-Night Party for the high school, and Shop with the Cop. So we're down to our 2024 budget financial synopsis. So our 2024 income was $124,013.61. As you can see, it's broken down by percentages. The lawful gambling proceeds are 76% of our funding, so that's the majority. Next is Twin City Gateway at 14%. We have Coon Rapids Fire Relief Association at 4%, Coon Rapids North Star Lions at 3%, and that 3% comes in with the tips that they collect throughout the year and then donate back to the foundation. So they all volunteer their time at every one of those events. So I really think 3%, and when you think about that's tips from every concession tournament at Sand Creek Park, at the different 4th of July events, that's 3% of our funding. And then corporate donations, which are a variety of things. Our 2024 expenses were $123,501.46. As you can see, 56% of that is for the fireworks. Organization support is 2%, other events are 3%, concerts are 11%, that encompasses the winter concerts as well as the summer concerts. Snowflake Days, 3%, and our two largest events outside of the 4th of July are tree lighting at 14% and pumpkin patch at 11%. Our 2024 year-end balance sheet, so our beginning balance of January 21, 2024 was $31,176.20. Our income was $124,013.61. Our beginning balance plus income was $155,181.81. Our expenses were $123,501.46, and our ending balance as of December 31st, 2024 was $31,688.35. So when you look at the $123,501, that's minus some operating expenses. That's what we've given back to the community, in some capacity. So I think that's pretty incredible, especially when the foundation is made up of volunteers, and thanks to the charitable gambling donations, we're able to provide all of those things that I presented on. That's all I have. I can take any questions. This is our website for anybody interested in donating or volunteering or finding more about our events.
Awesome. Any questions for Tiffany? Looks great.
I feel like I've been up here long enough.
Councilmember Carlson, or Markey Carlson. I'm sorry, Councilmember Carlson.
I just want to say thank you for what a great presentation. Just fantastic. Just lays it all out so nicely. Thank you for doing that.
Yep. Yeah. And as the vice president of Snowflake Days and so involved in community strength and all these other things, I think this is your fate that you're staying here.
Can we leave that off in the notes or anything? I just was voted as vice chair of CSF as well, so
Yep.
that was, Mr. Mayor, I don't know if I like that saying, but it's fine.
Well, we appreciate it. We appreciate it a lot.
I love this community. I grew up here. My husband grew up here. We're still here. So genuinely, this city is, I just think, second to none for public safety activities, our council, the things that we provide back. So it's not only the volunteers, but it's the community members that come out and participate in these events. That's what makes them successful and makes it worth our time. So thank you to all of you that volunteer. Thank you to our community members for coming out. We really appreciate it. And when you leave an event and you have enjoyed it and you know it's fun and you're excited for next year, that's when you know it's worth partaking in. So thank you to everybody, and thank you to our CSF board and all of our volunteers. We really appreciate all you guys. So.
Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you. All right, with no intermission, we'll start phase 2 of our council meeting, which will, let's see, I think we're up to approving the minutes from the January 6th meeting.
Motion to approve the minutes?
Okay.
Second.
Motion by Carlson, second by Novak. Any corrections or discussions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, and those minutes are approved. We have 8 items on our consent agenda, and we're going to try and get through these quickly. The first one is to accept an easement agreement for IDC Automatic, 360 Coon Rapids Boulevard. We're looking at a 7-foot wide sidewalk easement along the northeast boundary of the site. It's necessary to allow for pedestrian access to the site and across the site to adjacent properties along Coon Rapids Boulevard. We're looking to accept the attached sidewalk easement agreement with Verka Holdings LLC for the development of the IDC Automatic Expansion Project. The next item on our consent agenda is to approve final payment to Dorco Incorporated for Project 2165 Fire Station 3. We're looking at, no liquidated damages are recommended. So we're looking to approve the final payment in the amount of $23,450 to Dorco Incorporated for Project 2165, which of course is Fire Station 3. Next item on our consent agenda is to accept an easement agreement for Project 2422 Foley Monopole, planning case 24-18, as part of the city's planned water tower decommissioning and subsequent monopole construction at 11316 Foley Boulevard. Staff has negotiated the attached easement agreement for the temporary use of portions of the adjacent property. So we're looking to accept the temporary easement with Capital City Investments LLC and authorize the execution of the agreement. Next item on our consent agenda is to adopt Resolution 25-26, correcting the legal description to vacate utility easements, Red Mill. And let's see, this was, this was the corner outside of the Wells Fargo. The project required the relocation of a water main pipe located within the drainage and utility easement, and the former drainage and utility easement needed to be vacated, and a new drainage and utility easement needed conveyed over the realigned water main pipe. At any rate, there was an error in the legal description that's been corrected. The issue can be corrected by adopting a new resolution with the corrected legal description, so that's what we're going to do. So we're looking to adopt Resolution 25-26, correcting the legal description to vacate the utility easement located at 3200 Main Street. I don't think I saved any time trying to cut that one down. Item 9 on our consent agenda, which is actually item 5, is to receive schedule of electronic payments. Each meeting, we look at the electronic payments since previous meeting. So we're looking to receive the schedule of electronic payments from January 1st, 2025 to January 15th, 2025. Item 10 is to adopt Resolution 25-27, accepting a donation for a park bench. Paul and Catherine Sommerfeld have donated $700 for a park bench in memory of Nicholas Lee Van Geest. The city has administered a park bench donation program for many years, and Paul and Catherine Sommerfeld would like to donate $700 for a park bench in memory of Nicholas Lee Van Geest. The city council is required to accept financial donations by resolution per state statute. So we're looking to adopt Resolution 25-27 to accept a $700 donation from Paul and Catherine Sommerfeld. The next item on our consent agenda is to receive and approve the 2025 Pay Equity Implementation Report. So we will be by motion receiving and improving the 2025 Pay Equity Report as submitted. And number 12, and the final item on our consent agenda, is to approve certification of satisfaction of mortgage, Coon Rapids Andover American Little League. This was back from 2014 when the city borrowed the money for the new lights. That has been satisfied. And we're looking to approve certification of satisfaction of mortgage and authorize the mayor and city manager to execute the agreement. And that is our full consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Geisler.
move approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion by Geisler and a second by Armstrong. Any discussion or questions from the
Mr. Mayor?
consent agenda? Councilmember Carlson.
I just want to bring up a couple of things. First of all, that sidewalk in front of IDC, boy, is that appreciated. It's the only stretch of roadway down there. There's no sidewalk. It starts and it stops on each side of IDC. Someone very close to me lived in the in-town suites for 2 years, and she used to tell me how interesting that walk to Quick Trip became as she's walking down the south side of the road, and all of a sudden there's no sidewalk, and especially in the winter.
Sure.
She doesn't live here anymore, but I'm sure she would have appreciated this when she was. And so it makes things, I think, much safer for those folks who are walking along the south side of Coon Rapids Boulevard. I also want to thank the Summerfeld family for their donation of the park bench in memory of Nicholas Van Geest. What a wonderful way to memorialize your loved one and at the same time provide a nice amenity to our parks, and very giving of them, and I just want to thank them.
Absolutely. Any other discussion or questions on the consent agenda?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Armstrong?
I'd just like to second what Councilman Carlson said with regard to the park bench donation from the Summerfelds. If you frequent our parks and take walks, bike rides, et cetera, through there, you'd be surprised how many of those benches are donated. And for those of you that, like myself, like to sit down every so often during our walks, I appreciate the benches, so thank you.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Griscoviac.
one question and then one comment, but on consent agenda item number, well, 2 on there, number 6, the fire station, I remember when we did our tour, there was an issue with the paint on the doors. I just wanted to make sure, did our paint get redone to the contractual agreement on that?
Mayor and council, it has been remedied to our satisfaction and ultimately was handled between our construction manager and Dorco themselves, and so it didn't cost us any additional
Okay,
budget.
perfect. Okay, sounds good. And then the second, just a comment on the access agreement or the easement agreement for the Foley monopole. That, it looks like that easement is going to be, we're going to be going across that backage road behind the shopping center there, which is really in rough shape. I just wanted to make sure that, we look at that, and we have to put it back to where it was, but it's not starting in a very good state. I just wanted to make sure that that's kind of noted there. That's all.
All right. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the consent agenda is adopted. Item 13 includes a public hearing for vacation of a drainage and utility easement, 360 Coon Rapids Boulevard. Mr. Brody, you want me to read your details here, or do you want to just hit the highlights?
I can hit the highlights, Your Honor. Mayor and council, this was brought to you back in December to vacate this easement. It's part of that addition to the IDC site, and so they're now building a building where this easement is going. So we're going to ask the council here to vacate that easement. In order to do so, we do need to conduct a public hearing and then adopt the proposed resolution if that's the council's desire. We do believe it's in the public interest to vacate that easement, since it's no longer needed.
Very good, thank you. Is there any questions of Mr. Brody on this? Hearing no questions, we'll open up the public hearing. Is anybody here to address the council for the vacation of drainage and utility easement for 360 Coon Rapids Boulevard? Anybody here for the public hearing on that? Anybody here for the public hearing? We'll close the public hearing and look for a motion from council.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Carlson?
make a motion to adopt Resolution 25-24 to vacate drainage and utility easements for 360 Coon Rapids Boulevard.
Second.
Motion by Carlson and a second by Armstrong. Is there any discussion on this?
Mr. Mayor?
Councilmember Griscoviac?
The only discussion would be that we talked about this in work session. It really makes sense to get it done, so glad to make this resolution.
All right. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. We're up to item 14 under new business, and that's to consider resolution 25-2 sub 8, accepting plans and specifications for the 2025 full-depth reclamation project and authorize solicitation of bids. Now, I believe this was what Mr. Hanson provided the presentation on last meeting, correct?
Mr. Mayor, he, I believe, spoke to it in a previous work session. This is just our annual mill and overlay project. We found good value in producing this. A couple areas of the city. Because we've been getting such good bids, we went a little bigger this year, which is why we're bidding it in two pieces, such that we have a base bid and an alternate, so we can be flexible in what we're doing. So we'll be back in 3-4 weeks with bid results, and we'll be able to make a recommendation if you were to move this forward.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, we have 7 streets in the base bid and then 4 in the bid alternate, just in case the bids come in good.
That's right.
All right. And the project does not propose any concrete or substantial utility repairs, so special assessments are not proposed per the current city special assessment policy. Council, what are your, let's see, this is not an introduction. This is, now we actually need a motion on this.
Your Honor.
Councilmember Novak.
Move to adopt resolution number 25-2 sub 8, accepting plans and specifications for project 25-2, the 2025 full-depth reclamation project, and authorize the solicitation of bids.
Second.
Motion by Novak and a second by Butler. Is there any discussion on this?
Mr. Mayor?
Councilmember Griscoviac?
Yeah, I'd just like to get a little clarification on this one because, as Mr. Himmer mentioned, we had the presentation of the mill and overlay, but this is a full-depth reclamation project, so it's similar to like a full-depth paving. I'm just wondering, why are we not doing the full 3.5-inch, pavement like is our new standard instead of just this 2-inch full-depth reclamation?
Okay.
I'm a little confused on that.
Sure, Councilmember Griscoviac, members of the council. This was an amendment to the assessment policy probably about a year and a half ago, where we looked at full-depth reclamation as a comparable kind of interim improvement to a mill and overlay. Because of the costs of doing a full reconstruction, as we consider it, going to the 3.5, doing utility work, everything else, we weren't able to capture that in our current budget. So we looked at the worst of the worst areas where we're spending a lot of time on our maintenance, and we looked at this as an improvement that could push those out several years from a reconstruction, which allows us to focus on some of the bigger, older areas of town that we'll be looking at in the next few years with some pretty significant improvements. So this buys us some time, and because we're not doing a typical project for reconstruction, then it's not inaccessible.
So we're good with this? Because usually a mill and overlay is kind of our, not long-term plan. So how long is this full-depth reclamation going to last on those roads?
Councilmember Griscoviac, we're looking at a minimum of 10 years. It's a comparable to a mill and overlay cost-wise, but because the pavement thickness is so shallow, it's very thin, you can't do a mill and overlay because there's only 2 inches of pavement. You can't just scrape off half of that without damaging the pavement underneath.
Okay.
So mill and overlay isn't an option in this area.
Okay. Well, that makes more sense. I mean, it's pretty much the equivalent of a mill and overlay in terms of what we're getting value for the money, it sounds like.
And it's not without precedent. We just did Direct River Drive last year. That was the same thing.
Correct.
That wasn't a mill, that was this process last year. Yeah,
All right.
correct.
Thanks for the clarification. That makes sense.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. Item 15 is to consider an agreement for contract services with Cedar Creek Energy for solar system installation at Fire Station 3 and the West Water Treatment Plant. We had a pretty good presentation on this. Mr. Himmer, anything you want to hit on this?
Certainly, Mr. Mayor, I can touch briefly on it. We were successful with some state grants on 2 city locations. It's our West Water Treatment Plant, which will produce about 25 kilowatt out of it. The new Fire Station 3, a portion of that roof up to about 40 kilowatts on that one. We received state grant funding for this. You approved those documents back in December. We'll also get some federal tax rebates, which puts the city at approximately 10% of those costs. So generally, the wastewater treatment plant, the project costs are $58,500. The city will be picking up $5,850, so exactly 10% of that one. On the fire station one, that one was a little bit larger. So the project on that, the contract is $123,654, of which the city would be responsible for $14,558. So good value for us, applying those credits. These are just the contracts now with those construction entities to install the facilities, which will happen the spring, summer of 2025. So with that, I'll answer any other questions you may have.
All right, any questions, Mr. Hammer?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Griscoviac.
got all the questions tonight, sorry about that.
That's all right.
I think this is great. We're getting a good value for the money. Solar on those buildings makes sense. It's going to pay for itself over the next 20, 30, 40 years. So I think it's great, especially with the grants that we're getting. My question is, how does the city get a federal tax credit? Is that something easily answered or something I should?
I'm not familiar. I'm assuming that we've, without Ashley Hanson tonight, that she's been a part of this process the entire way, so I presume that was calculated in.
Yeah.
Mr. Stemwell is thinking while he puts his hand up.
Just according to the memo, it's part of Inflation Reduction Act,
Yep.
which allowed this for city
It
government.
was a specific tax credit, not a recent one. In other cases, only private entities have been allowed to receive those
Right.
credits, but in this case, under this program, we are to get a direct benefit from it.
Okay, well, I think that's great. I just wanted to make sure that, I was kind of wondering how that works, because it's a big tax credit. It's, almost $90,000 with the tax credit, so good job getting that for us.
Councilmember Geisler?
So I'm excited about this. Frankly, this is bargain basement pricing for
Sure.
what we're getting here. I've had solar on my home for many years. It works really great. This is exciting because also power is only getting more expensive. This is one of the few things that what it produces will get more valuable over time. So its ROI grows as the cost of power goes up. So with that, I would move that we approve the contracts with Cedar Creek Energy for the installation of solar energy systems at Fire Station 3 and the West Water Treatment Plant, and authorize execution by appropriate staff.
Second.
Motion by Geisler, second by Novak. Is there any further discussion on this?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Griscoviac?
just one more comment. I looked through the packet from Cedar Creek, and it sounds like those folks are top-notch. I mean, I read through the whole thing, tons of qualifications. I think we're getting the right team to do this. But was it competitively bid?
Yes, Councilmember Krasoviak, we had 3 bids on the
Okay.
project, and they were selected as the best value.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure of that. No, I think we're selecting the right vendor for it too, based on that packet that I read, so thank you.
Mr. Hammer, I noticed an option in there for, we had 30-year warranty on the panels, but a 10-year warranty on the inverter, is that what it is? With an optional 20-year warranty that can be picked up at some point. Is that something we'll consider, do you know? Is that something we've considered?
Mr. Mayor, that's something we can consider as the contract goes on. I don't have a lot of knowledge about how that were to function. Our facilities construction manager had said that, the life expectancy on these things is well beyond that, but it's something we certainly can consider. It just wasn't included as part of this bid, but it might be something we come back to discuss with you at a
Okay.
later date.
I'd just like us to not lose sight of that it's a 10-year warranty on those, but, so.
Mr. Mayor, if I may.
Councilmember Geisler?
For what it's worth, the inverter warranties those are the things that do fail on the systems, barring like physical damage. They're the pieces that wear out. That's where all the energy comes in and out. I had to have mine replaced, but it was under manufacturer warranty. They swapped it out and it was good to go. They're designed to be repaired pretty well and hot swapped nowadays. So I think it's a good call out to make sure that we're getting that and make sure we're going to get the most out of the system for the life of the system.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion on this? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? And that motion carries. Item 16, I have so many notes in that last one. There we go. Item 16 is to consider Resolution 25-25, approving the MnDOT contract number 1057316, Cooperative Construction Agreement for Trunk Highway 10 improvements, CP 19-26. Mr. Himmer, are we all good here?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. This may be the last official action you have to take on this project. They intend to let this, the expansion of Highway 10 next week. So this will be ready to go, all systems this spring, this summer. So we've talked about municipal consent. We talked about potential costs to the city as part of this. Just to remind you again, it's to add a third lane in each direction between roughly Round Lake Boulevard and Hanson Boulevard. Most of it is federally, state funded through other quarters of commerce, regional solicitation, those programs. And so the city's contribution is a little over $300,000, and it has nothing to do with the roadway itself. That's just our utilities that exist within that right-of-way. So it's adding conduit around our pipes so they're easier to maintain. It's upgrading some of our stormwater facilities, and it's replacing some of our water main. As I was speaking, I will come back to you in the not-too-distant future because there's a small section in the northwest or the southwest quadrant of Main Street and Highway 10 where we are going to do our own project to remove the water main from that roadway. You approved an easement on that from Metro Storage earlier in the year. So I slipped up a little bit. We will be back one more time. But funding for this is included in the project budget or in the 2025 approved budget. I think we even overestimated based upon some of the conversations with municipal consent. So we will more than cover this cost with what's already in our budget. So happy to answer any other questions.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Himmer?
Mr. Mayor?
Councilmember Novak?
I'm one of those lifelong Coon Rapids people, for the most part, that Tiffany was talking about earlier, and I can tell you, a lot of people are going to appreciate this. So staff, great work, working with the state, getting this done, thank you. And with that, I move to approve Resolution 25-25, authorizing MnDOT contract number 1057316, a cooperative construction agreement with MnDOT, and further authorize the mayor and city manager to execute the agreement.
Second.
Motion by Novak. I'm going to give it to somebody down here. Was it you, Butler?
Yeah.
All right, Councilmember Butler was the second. Further discussion on this? Wow.
I'm good.
After this many years about this project, if this is really our last time, well, all right, one more. All right, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And that motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Himmer.
Thank you.
We're up to the open mic public comment. Anybody here for open mic tonight? I'll take that as a no. All right, I don't have any reports on previous open mics, and we are up to other business. And I didn't bring any notes, and Tiffany sure covered Snowflake Days well.
Oh, boy, did she ever.
Other business.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Griscoviac?
I just have one thing. I had a constituent contact me this week and asked me to, quote, read something into the record. So I contacted the city manager, and he basically told me, well, there's two ways to do that. One way would be to have the constituents go to the dais over here at the podium and read that. They couldn't do that for work and with reasons that they have with their children. So the other option would be for just I'll make a statement on this, and then the city manager will forward that information out. But long story short of it, we have a constituent that, similar to our chicken ordinance that we did a few years ago, they're wondering if we could look at our ordinance and look at adding that for domestic ducks that lay eggs. So I know a lot of cities around here do it, so she asked me to just bring that to the city council. It sounds like it's maybe something we could talk about in one of our work sessions, so that's all I had.
Ms. Lensmeyer, what kind of ducks were those again?
Mr. Mayor, domestic ducks, the ones that lay eggs.
Yes.
But they were like Peking or Peking.
Pekin.
Pekin. P-E-K-I-N.
They're cute.
Okay, and they have names.
Never name your food. All right, other business to come before council.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Carlson.
one last shout out for Snowflake Days. I almost feel obligated. Boy, Tiffany covered it so well, but just please, if you, go on the city's website, go on the Snowflake Days Facebook page. Please check it out and please, come on out. It's just such a wonderful 61-year tradition in the city. And just please just check it out and come on out and enjoy summer, all of it. Thank you.
Councilmember Carlson, we thinking about adding fur to all of our sport coats from now on, or?
Oh, it's a style.
It's a nice look.
Mr. Mayor?
Councilmember
I
Armstrong.
just wanted to let you know, Councilmember Carlson did not lose his Snowflake Day button. It was strategically placed so that somebody couldn't find it until they needed to.
Either that, Mr. Mayor, it popped off while I was shaking hands with one of the officers landing down there.
Okay. Still lost by definition.
Lost and found.
Mr. Stemwell, any other business?
Mayor, council, I think we've covered it.
All right.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion by Carlson, second by Geisler to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. We're adjourned.